Hey, what's up, everyone? What's up? What's up? Welcome to your call center verification class. For today, we're going to talk about how you can capture the customer's information, how you can, some techniques, some words, some vocabulary, how that can help you obtain the customer's name, the customer's, addresses. These type of things are sometimes difficult. I don't need to tell you that that can be challenging, especially if you're working for a call center for the first time. If this is your first call center job, if you want to work in the BPO industry, this is something that you need to learn. And if English is not your first language, then you definitely need to stick around for the remaining 2 hours to catch up on all of this great info that's going to help you with this. Okay, call center verification. Let me tell you a story. I was a couple of years back, I was helping this account, T-Mobile activations. They have to activate SIM cards for customers. Customers call in, and these guys need to register. They need to one of the key processes that they needed to do was data entry. That means they needed to capture the customer's information so they can register, assign a telephone line to a specific customer. So they had to get the customer's full name, address, social security, date of birth, driver's license number, the SIM card, the IMEI number, all of this information that the agent, these agents had to capture and work on the system, at the same time and ask the customer, multitasking, right? So I saw a lot of times there that a lot of agents that were doing this for the very first time, they were struggling with capturing information, especially with tricky names, addresses that you've never heard of before, like for instance, Jafar Mohammed or Danielle K. Schwartz. How do you spell that, right? So I saw these agents struggling on the floor, and they were struggling. They were taking 15 minutes, 12 minutes to register the customer's name, to get the customer's address, and the customers sometimes got frustrated, right? And they would hang up. They go, I don't want to talk to you. Boom. And they would call again because the process was taking too long. So they called me in. They said, hey, Mr. E, we need somebody there to help us. We got a language barrier problem. So that was my job. So I went in there and I saw what the situation was. I saw, okay, nobody here has soft skills. Can I get an aux, please? I asked the trainer person who was in charge. I said, give me an aux, give me an hour. I need to talk to these people. I need to talk to the team. So in the team huddle, we discussed this. Okay, I said, guys, this is the opportunity. We're taking 15 minutes to capture the customer's information and get them with a SIM card. That's way too long. Our average handle time, or in that place, it was called CRT, right? Call resolution time was about 8 minutes. So no more than 8 minutes for the activations, to finish the complete process. And these guys were in nesting. They were doing their first interactions with customers. There was still a lot of support there for the guys. Well, anyhow, they were taking more than 8 minutes. These guys were taking 15 minutes. Oh, it was too long. The process was way too long. So the thing was that if they didn't lower that CRT, right, they didn't lower it, they were not going to graduate. They were not going to move on to the floor, right? Because they were still in the training part. They were still, we call this, they were still, with support and everything at that time. That nesting, some places call it nesting and whatnot, but they were still in that stage of their trainings, right? So I went in and I said, okay, everybody, let's listen up. Let's huddle. Everybody pay attention. This is how we're going to do it. So when you request the customer's information and they come up with a name like Jamar Mohammed, whatever, what you're going to do is you're going to say, Mr. Customer, I really appreciate that. Can you key spell your name, please? Right? Key spell, right? So what is the key spell? The term key spell means that the customer is going to give you the letter of his name, right? And he's going to give you a word that represents that letter in order to help your communication between you and him, okay? This type of communication is going to help you, right? This is to key, to spell with a key. right? So each letter of the alphabet is assigned a specific keyword, okay? Now, this is the standard, right? This is the general standard, right? A lot of times customers don't know this because this is generally a military alphabet. This is the military alphabet, right? That's used to spell, to spell different, different things that they have to do in the military, right? So we use this one, a standard. This is a standard. So it's easier to communicate with your customer, right? So if the customer was familiar with this, it was easy. So customer would go, yeah, that's Mohammed. That's M for Mike. Let's see, O for Oscar, H for hotel, A for alpha, M for Mike, A for alpha, A for alpha, what? M for Mike, E for echo, and D for delta. Mohammed. Boom, I got you, Mr. Customer. Just to verify here, you said that's D for delta. Am I correct? Got it. Appreciate that. Boom, in the system, we get that done, right? Or if the customer doesn't know this standard, customers will use their own creative ways, right? They'll give you like A for Adam, A for Apple, A for America, but that's the key that you need, right? You need that to listen to that keyword so you're able to identify it, boom, and put it in the system. Or they could do it like C, right? That could be like C for Charlie is the standard, but they can come up with other very, very creative names, like, T for, instead of T for tango, T for tomato. Let's say I for Indiana, E for Edward, D for David, right? C for Charles, H for Harry, or L for Larry, right? So there are different names and different ways that customers would do it on the phones, but this is your standard, right? So you can use it just for verifications. So take a look at this name, Danielle. Look at that, Danielle, right? So here, if I just tell the customer, can you spell that? Sure, she's just gonna go Danielle. Wow, I didn't catch that. I'm very sorry. Can you spell that again? Nah, it's too much. So what we're gonna do is, Mr. Customer, I'm sorry, I was not prepared for that. Can you key spell your name, please? Okay, sure. That's D for Delta, A for Alpha or Adam, N for November, I for India, E for Echo, L for Lima, and E for Echo. Okay, perfect, Mr. Customer. Just for verification purposes here, I just want to make sure that the information is correct in the system. Let me repeat that back to you. So that you said here, Delta, Alpha, November, India, Echo, Lima, Echo. Am I correct? Do I have it right? Thank you very much. Now for the middle initial, you said K, right? You said K. I just want to verify here. Did you say K for kilo? Yes. All right. Perfect. I got it. And your last name, Schwartz. That's a beautiful name there, Mr. Customer. Could you key spell that for me? Yeah, sure. Why not? So customer would go S for Sam, C for Charles, H for hotel, W for William, A for Anna, R for, let's say, Robert, T for Tom, and Z for Zulu. All right, that's perfect. Thank you so much, Mr. Customer. I do appreciate your help in this process. Let me just double check here what you said. So you said S for Sierra, Charlie, you said hotel, right? You said whiskey, you said alpha, you said Romeo, you said over here, you said tango, and you said Z for Zulu. Am I correct, Mr. Customer? Boom, perfect. I got it. I got the information. Great. Can I have your SIM card number, IMEI number? Let's activate this. Boom. Here's your new number. Thank you, Mr. Customer. Goodbye. So you see, we in the huddles, in the coachings, we went immediately. And I said, guys, I need you to say this. And I printed out, I laminated the phonetic alphabet, and I said, come on, everybody, let's practice this. We did it. Okay, so time's up. Everybody back to the phones. Everybody apply what you just learned. Do it now. And everybody started. Thank you, Mr. Customer. Can you key spell? Hey, Mr. Customer, can you key spell that, sir? Thank you, Mr. Customer. I appreciate that. Now everybody was a key spell, and everybody with a phonetic alphabet, and they were boom, 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 putting the information. And we lowered in the first day from 15, 20 minutes. We lowered that to 12, 11 minutes. On the third day, man, that came down to 7, 8 minutes. And when they got like to the week, 6, 7 days, boom, that came down to the normal time, which a normal activation would take anywhere from 4 minutes to 3 minutes and a half. So they were, boom, everybody was on goal, right? Everybody was on goal. You know, everybody was happy. Everybody graduated. Everybody became a T-Mobile agent. Some of these guys grew within the company, and everybody's happy. Do you understand? But we were able to do that by simply applying this phonetic alphabet. And it's going to happen to you because nobody has 100% listening, and nobody knows all the names in the world, right? You're going to hear names and addresses that you've never heard of in your life. So this is your best way of working over here. I mean, this is your best, that's your best shot right there using this. Okay. So today we're going to talk about this. You're going to practice, you're going to do some listening. You're going to see some examples of how some agents doing that actually. And you guys will listen to some customers. I got some customers that you're going to listen to, try to capture their names. And we're going to practice this alphabet together. Okay. So let's take a look at the phonetic alphabet. This is the standard that we're going to use. Okay. And there are other variants. We'll also talk about that. So the call center verification alphabet, or the military alphabet, is a standard that's used to capture customers' names, addresses, to facilitate communication between you and the customer. This is a process of the data entry process in a call center, in which every letter will be represented by a specific key. The question here is, can you key spell your name? Can you key spell your address for me, please? So every letter of the alphabet will have a standard. So we'll say here A for alpha, B for Bravo, C for Charlie, like the name, D for Delta, E for Echo, F for Foxtrot, G for Golf, H for Hotel, I for India, J for Juliet, K for Kilo, L for Lima, M for Mike, like the name, N for November, like the month, O for Oscar, like the name, P for Papa, Q for Quebec, like the province in Canada, R for Romeo, look, we got Juliet and Romeo, S for Sierra, T for Tango, like the dance, U for uniform, V for Victor, like the name, W for whiskey, X for X-ray, Y for Yankee, and Z for Zulu. This is important because when you're on the phone, you know, sometimes it can be tricky to distinguish between C as in Charlie and Z as in Zulu. Or sometimes it can be a little bit tricky on the phone, distinguishing between B as in Bravo or V as in Victor, you know? So it could be a little bit tricky there, you know, with some letters. So this is very important to get that verification and to have it clear, you know? Another thing is we're going to use the prepositions as in or for. Okay, so you're going to say B for Bravo, C for Charlie. But if you want to be more emphatic, you can use this as in. So you could say Q as in Quebec, R as in Romeo. Make combinations. S as in Sierra, T for Tango. So those are the prepositions that we're going to use for this, okay? On something else, you're going to hear your customers. Some customers are not going to use this strictly. They'll use names or common words in English that are very common. Like, for instance, A for, so a customer could say A for Anna, or B for Bob, right? Or C for Charles, which are common names in America. D for David, which is a common one. E for Edward, common names, right? F for Frank, right? Common names. G for George, right? H for Harry, right? So some common names are used for this, but sometimes it's not too easy. Like for instance, the letter Z or the letter Q, those are not too common, right? And to share with you another story that I saw on the floor, I actually, and this happened with new agents. I heard an agent that he was telling the customer, he was saying K, instead of K for kilo, he was saying K for Kike. And the customer was like, what? Like it didn't understand anything at all. Or somebody said Q for Quetzal. Nope, the customer was completely lost. Or somebody said X for X-Men. And the customer was probably an older gentleman, and he's like, X-Men, what are you talking about, right? So, that's the thing when you're trying to invent on the spot, you're trying to invent, or, sometimes you're too busy, like you got many things going on at the same time that you can't think of a name or you can't think of a key word. But the military alphabet is going to help you because it's a standard. That's what it's going to do. And today you're going to practice this alphabet and other variants in this class, okay? So that's what we're going to do. So let's check it out. Okay, guys. All right, let's go. Let's go.